Welcome to Table Talk, where there's always room at the table. I am your host, Jonathan Harmon of the J. Harmon Home Team, and we can't wait to talk to these fine guests. Enjoy the show. All right, and welcome to Table Talk. God, my name's Jonathan Harmon. Welcome to Table Talk, where there's that intro is so good, we're going to hear it again. That's all right. It happens. My name's Jonathan Harmon, and I'm with the J. Harmon Home Team, powered by Keller Williams. We've got an awesome guest today, Miss Terri Deal from Adams Place, and we're going to talk about all the things going on over there. If you've ever driven down Memorial Boulevard, then you've seen Adams Place. It's that gorgeous place on the left that all of our aging parents dream of, as opposed to some of the other places that make the news, right? So.
Right. We always hope to make the news in a very favorable fashion.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Before we get started with Terri, we do want to hear from our buddy Brian Nail at Primis Mortgage. Brian's a huge supporter of Spread the Positive, and we love Brian. He's also happens to be a fantastic loan officer. So let's hear from Brian.
Hey, my name is Brian Nail. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Bank Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly a pleasure to be part of. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
Thank you for supporting Spread the Positive. Trent, one of my goals in life is to get cool enough that I have to have the fast voice person at the end of a commercial.
Hey, you're almost there.
I
feel like if we made a commercial for J. Harmon Home Team,
it's pretty legit, man.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
I need somebody to follow me around with a discmear all the time.
This is Jonathan Harmon.
The views of Jonathan Harmon do not necessarily represent the views of the Spread the Positive Network.
I mean, most of them.
It's pretty funny.
Also, I got to walk 4.6 miles with Brian in the woods this weekend.
That's what I heard. Y'all went out to Radnor, didn't you?
It was awesome.
Well, so the day before you did that, sorry, I got to tell this story real quick. He and I went and hiked the Vesta Cedar Glade. Well, you fared much better than I did because I got into a massive nest of chiggers.
No.
Have you ever gotten that?
Yes.
It is miserable, y'all. Yeah. Like I don't want to show it on camera because it's pretty gross, but this my entire left leg is covered in bites right now.
Oh man, that's awful.
And they are miserable little creatures.
Well, see, that's just a constant reminder of the fun that you had on that hike.
You know, it is. I will tell you.
Positive spin.
There you go. She needs a show on here. Yeah.
What's going right?
The coolest thing that did happen, though, we came around the bend and we were walking through this field and I'm like, what's that noise? And there were these I don't even know, tree bushes thing. They were only about this tall, but they had these big clusters of tiny white flowers on them. I mean, like the flowers were, the point of a pin, but the clusters were like this big. And we stopped for a second. No exaggeration, there had to have been at least 10,000 bees all over these bushes.
Awesome.
And they did not give two cares about us at all.
Wow.
They were doing their business.
Yep.
And I mean,
That's
like we could get this close.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
And you could see the little glob of pollen on each bee. It was amazing.
That would have been
really
neat
cool
to watch.
We stood there for probably 10 minutes. Brian took pictures and video and stuff. And I've never witnessed anything like that.
Yeah.
You've seen a bee or two, or
sure.
maybe even a few, or you see a hive. I have some friends that do beekeeping, but I've never seen them, I guess, in the wild like that. It was.
That's good to know,
dude. It was something. I'm telling you, it was something. Cool. And there was just this low, continuous buzz.
Yeah.
it sounded like it was electric. I mean, it was amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That would have been neat to see.
So that was. I don't know that the chiggers were worth that, but it at least offset it a little bit.
Well, it's giving you a good story.
It's a great story. I have a feeling I'm gonna have scars on my legs though. They're anyway. Bless my heart. Don't get in chiggers, and they.
Story.
I guess I didn't shower immediately, and so I got
They
bites
spread.
everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah. We're not here to talk about that.
we do not have chiggers at Adam's place.
We do not have chiggers. That is good to
That's a
know.
great segue.
That is good. That's a good start. And maybe if I ever go to put my parents and we work together on getting them in assisted, that'll be the first question.
There
Do
you
you
go.
have chiggers? No.
I will say that in 12 years in this industry, I've never been asked that, but
You've never
All-
met me before.
I have
See?
not.
All right. Awesome. All right. So as you can tell, Terri Deal, she is the executive director of independent living at Adams Place.
yes.
And like I was saying, if you've ever been down Memorial Boulevard, you've seen Adams Place. It's a big, beautiful facility. So we're going to start with this. I'd asked you a little bit ago, you guys have 4 main sections
Mhm,
at
right.
Adams Place. So different levels and types of care.
Correct.
So why don't you tell us about those real quick?
So Adams Place is what is referred to as a continuing care retirement community, or a CCRC. That is terminology that nobody ever understands until the day that you need it, and then it becomes very important. So what that means is, on our campus, we have a 22-acre campus. We provide independent living, which is really the first step of downsizing. Then we progress in.
Let's talk independent living.
Yeah.
So it's essentially an apartment,
It is.
and they get meals.
They do get meals. They get some services. They get, housekeeping, driver service, all the activities planned, linen service, those types of things.
But no real medical care.
No, we do not provide medical care in independent living. You can bring outside services in to allow you to age in place. And we're actually partnered with a company by the name of Senior Helpers that provides some of those services on
Mhm.
campus. So it does allow you to age in place to an extent. In independent living, the goal obviously is remaining independent, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra help.
Sure.
You don't necessarily need a higher level of care. You just need a little bit of something to help get you over the hump of an illness or a broken bone or something along those lines. So senior helpers can come in and provide those types of services, and then step back out of the picture when you don't need them any longer.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
independent living, I've got residents that are still traveling the world. Some of them still work. Some of them, very involved in the community.
Well, it's just easier, right? So
is.
your place is taken care of. You don't have to mow grass. You
Yep.
you don't have to fix every single meal, which means you don't have to grocery shop for every single
Exactly.
meal.
If it breaks, we fix it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just stepping out of the responsibilities of home maintenance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then from there, you go to assisted living.
You progress. The next level is to assisted living, which also does encompass memory care. So assisted living, we still encourage as much independence as anyone can muster.
Mhm.
But in assisted living, obviously, they are gaining assistance through caregivers, through nursing staff, that sort of thing. So
Still more of an apartment type layout.
it is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. And then from there, that's where we go to, you called it long-term care.
Long-term care, continuing care, there's several different terminologies that are used. It is old school nursing home terminology, continuing care, long-term care. Those are the modern day terms that are being used for that. That's when a person really needs 24-hour supervision, may be bedbound, may not be bedbound, but just requires a tremendous amount of oversight.
And that is not necessarily an apartment.
That
type
is
setting.
not. No, that is going to be more like old school
A room.
hospital rooms.
Mhm.
Where there's typically two beds in that shared space. You just, as you progress through the different levels of care in a continuing care retirement community, you just really need less and less space.
Mhm.
The old adage, less is more, is very true as we're aging. So as we do age and get to the place where we need those other levels of care, sometimes just having a smaller space to get about is really better for you.
Well, and you're doing less of your own stuff. So
Yes.
at that point, you're cooking nothing.
Exactly.
You're not driving yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. And then you have one other kind of separate from that, and that you were saying is the inpatient rehab.
Right. Yeah. It's often referred to as skilled nursing. A lot of times, if you go to the hospital, the discharge planners will talk about SNFs and skilled and those types of terms. Again, means nothing to you until the day that you actually need it.
Yeah, right.
But that is just an inpatient rehab stay. That is where somebody can go. Maybe there's been a fall resulting in a break that maybe led to surgery or some other type of a medical event. Maybe you've had open heart surgery, any number of different things that could cause you to need temporary care, and where you can also receive physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, nursing oversight, social work assistance, those types of things.
Gotcha. So, what's different about Adam's Place? So, why Adam's Place? If
Why Adam's
sell me
Place?
for a minute, right? So, I've got my parents; they're pretty healthy.
Mhm.
Maybe they're getting a little bit older. They're driving a little less, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. Why would I pick Adam's Place, or why should they pick Adam's Place?
So I would go to Adam's Place first and foremost because we have been in the community for 26 years and we do what we do very well. Adams Place is part of National Healthcare Corporation, or NHC,
Hmm.
which has been around for 52 years. We are very skilled at what we do. Everything that is done, not only from construction, but to care, to maintenance, every aspect of what we do is done with excellence. Um, Adam's Place, we do have a really good reputation. It's really interesting looking back over the last 26 years. We started out as just a local service provider, and we have grown because Murfreesboro is growing at the rate that it is, and we have so many younger people that are moving into town. Their parents are joining them here to
Hmm.
be close to the kids, the grandkids, whatnot. And so, we have grown from being the hometown service provider to the provider of people from literally all over this country. I have people move from California sight unseen. We may do a virtual tour with them, and they move here because of the reputation that we have. In independent living, I like to refer to it as my landlocked cruise ship. We do everything that we possibly can to spoil our residents, and just, make their lives as convenient as they possibly can be so that they can enjoy retirement. That's what it's all about.
Like what? Go through a list.
Okay, so just the basic services that are coming in independent living. You have a driver service. Now, a lot of my residents are still driving. That's
There's a
great.
whole row of carports over there.
There's a whole bunch of carports.
Uh-huh.
That's great until the day that you need to go to the doctor's office and it's pouring down rain and you've got to park a mile away and
Mhm.
hike through the rain.
Or you're getting your pupils dilated for whatever
And you
reason,
cannot
or
see.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm,
Or you need to go to the grocery store. Who enjoys that hike through the parking lot of the grocery store, unloading and loading the groceries?
mhm.
So even though residents who are still driving, even though they do come to us still driving, we'll transport them free of charge to their doctor's appointments, to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, whatever, and provide door to door service. We're there. It was funny. I had somebody come to me a couple of weeks ago. Our driver, who's been with us for 10 or 11 years, he was seen at Publix loading the residents' groceries in the pouring down rain, and somebody asked him about it, and he said, "That's what we do.
It's what we do.
It's exactly what we do."
Right.
So we bring in a lot of entertainment. So there are concerts of all different genres throughout the month. So if you like a certain style of music, we'll bring that style of music in. So, you don't have to go out. We do go out. So we've got a campus bus that the residents can pile in, and we'll take them to concerts, take them to symphonic performances, take them to ball games or the movies or wherever it is that they want to go. We've got excellent exercise programs. So if you have a membership at a gym somewhere, well, it's already built into the price of living at Adams Place.
Mhm.
We do one thing that is a little bit different, at least in the independent living, do something different that most communities do, and that is we bring in geriatric certified instructors. I can take you in the exercise room and I can tell you to raise your arms up and down all day long, but I have no idea if it's truly beneficial.
Right.
Well, by bringing in geriatric certified instructors, they know exactly what someone needs to do. So there may be 10 people in the room, and each of the 10 needs something different. That certified
Personal trainer.
instructor can give personal instruction to each one.
Yeah.
And then we also have a swimming pool. We're the only property in town, in all of Rutherford County, actually, that has a swimming pool. So we do have a certified instructor that comes in and does water aerobics as well.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't Where is the pool?
It's kinda tucked away on the west side of the campus. You have to go down a hall through the exercise room and then access it from that point.
That's
Next
awesome.
time next time you're driving down Memorial and you see the beautiful building, stop in and I'll show it to you.
Okay, that sounds good. I didn't know you guys had a pool there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and, so on the and all of this stuff is included.
Yes.
So, and meals,
Yes.
what is it? Is it
So
breakfast and dinner or
no,
something?
independent living is 1 meal a day. You can choose lunch or dinner,
Okay.
but we also have a soda shop, so residents can go to the soda shop and purchase breakfast or a sandwich and soup for lunch.
Mhm.
Then, as you progress through the levels of care, you're getting more where the food is concerned. So, once you get to assisted living, memory care, or continuing care, or even inpatient rehab, it's 3 meals a day.
Mhm.
But even in those higher levels of care, if you want something in between, it's going to be available.
So, back to the independent,
Mhm.
it sounds like it would be very expensive.
It sounds like it, but it's surprisingly not. I have had a number of residents over the years who have come to me, and the first words out of their mouth when they call me is, I know I can't afford you, but I just need to know. And then I give them our pricing structure, and the result is they move in,
Yeah.
saying, it's no more expensive than anyone else. We've been around 26 years, but we're priced very comparative to our competition.
Well, and especially when you factor in what all's included. So, like you said, if you have
Yes.
a gym membership, if you're getting a meal a day, if you look at maintenance on your home, if
Right.
you look at having a driver service,
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you could just not have a car. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
another expense
absolutely. Yeah.
that you don't incur.
Yeah. So we have weekly housekeeping and linen service. So what I encourage people to do, and I've even got paperwork in the packet for them to be able to do this,
List
is
it all
sit
out.
down and how much are your utilities? How much
Mhm.
are your
Mhm.
home ownership, the HOA
Mhm.
membership fees? How much is your insurance, your property tax, the car maintenance, all of these different things. Our rates are inclusive of all of their utilities except for telephones. So when you break down, I've done it even for myself, and I'm amazed at how much money I spend every month. So when you compare side by side, what am I spending to maintain my brick and mortar home versus what will it cost if I go ahead and step into retirement? It is surprisingly similar.
And possibly even saving money depending on what your
Absolutely.
current situation is, and that's money that goes back in your pocket.
Yes.
So while you still have the ability to travel, like you were
Mhm.
saying, that's money that can go towards
Sure.
the cruise that's not landlocked,
That's
or
it.
towards the whatever,
Yeah.
touring Greece if you want to.
Yes. We just had a couple that earlier this year, they went on a 17-day cruise to Antarctica.
That's beautiful.
And, the great thing about traveling when you live on a campus like this, if you're
The
in your
grass
brick and
doesn't
mortar
grow.
home, your grass grows,
Yeah.
your mail collects, your newspapers collect. You've got
Pipes
to worry,
burst.
pipes burst. Yeah. You've got to worry about, is the house going to still be standing in the condition I left it in when I left?
Yeah.
And when you live at a place like Adam's place, you pack your bags, you lock your door, you walk out the door, say, see you in a few weeks,
Yeah.
and you're done. And you don't have to worry about what the condition is going to be when you come back.
That's right.
Give us a call. Let us know that you're on your way back home. We'll go in and we'll spruce up the apartment, set the temperature to what you want it to be set at.
Don't leave stinky food in the
That
fridge. That's about it, right?
right.
That's about it. That is awesome. So let's shift gears just a little bit. I mentioned this kind of tongue in cheek,
Mhm,
but it is a legitimate concern. I have a grandmother that's in her upper 80s,
mhm,
and she stays at home. My
mhm.
aunt lives with her. She's healthy for the most part. And for years though, she said, don't put me in a nursing home. Don't
Mhm.
put And so and everybody's seen the horror stories, everybody's
Absolutely.
seen the negligent care or lack of care altogether,
Mhm,
the abuses, those kinds of things. Obviously, Adam's Place reputation is stellar and all of that, but just from a from somebody that works in that
mhm.
industry, when you see those kinds of things, how does that happen? I mean, and then from your perspective, how do you because inevitably somebody's going to ask questions, right?
Mhm.
So how do you handle that stigma that comes, the 50-year-old dude that's trying to find a spot because he can't take care of his mom or
Mhm.
whatever. Like, what do you say to that guy? And how do you field those types of questions?
So, yes, that's always a touchy thing. You grow up hearing, I don't want to go to a nursing home. Nursing homes have changed a lot over the years. I know when I was growing up, the worst imaginable thought was going to a nursing home to be left to die.
Well, and that's
And
exactly
none of
what it
us
felt
wants
like,
that.
right? Is,
Yeah.
oh, they're in a
Yes.
nursing home now.
Yes. So things have changed a lot over the years. Dr. Carl Adams, who is the founder of NHC, he actually took a lot of strides to improve the concept of nursing home, of continuing care. That's actually what launched NHC. Um, when he retired from his medical practice, he purchased 14 failing nursing homes because, as a service provider, he realized that there was a desperate need for better care and
To do it the
to
right
do
way.
it the right way.
Mhm.
So, he invested into 14 nursing homes and turned those around and developed what is today NHC. And, we have expanded well, I think we're in 13 different states, have 50 plus different centers, and a center could be independent living, assisted living, continuing care, whatever. And the predominant thing that NHC does is continuing care. And, going back to what I was saying earlier, NHC, whatever we do really well. Now, that's not to say that there's not going to be a hiccup in the road.
Sure.
Okay. Nobody is
Still run
perfect.
by
And,
humans.
and we're still run by humans until the day that AI steps in and takes it all over,
We don't talk about that.
Um, but I think, where Adam's place is concerned, I'm always going to go back to our reputation. I'm going to, we try to be open about everything. I am guilty of telling people probably more information than they would want to know because I want them to know literally
That's
everything.
right. Good, bad, ugly.
Good, bad, and the ugly.
Mhm.
So I would encourage anybody. Best piece of advice I can give anybody looking for whatever level of care you're looking for. If you need to talk to somebody from a sales perspective, I need to sit down. I need to know the nitty gritty. I need to know the costs and all that sort of thing. Make an appointment with the right individual. Okay.
Mhm.
But the best piece of advice I can give you is show up unexpected. That's when you're going to find out the reality of what that community is like.
And talk to the person pushing the cart, serving the trays.
That's exactly right.
That's who you talk to,
Yeah.
because
I know.
they'll shoot you straight.
They are going to shoot you straight, and if they're having a bad day, you are gonna get an earful. When I first entered this industry, when I was, going around trying to find my first job 12 years ago, I would walk in places and I could tell you within 30 seconds whether I wanted to work there, and
Mhm.
it's all based on the culture. And, NHC and Adams Place, we put a lot into establishing a very positive culture.
Well, I mean, happy employees make for happier interactions. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
it's really not that complicated
Absolutely.
to understand.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to the cruise ship for a minute.
Sure.
So I'm picturing shuffleboard. I'm picturing like Mai Tais. Do you guys set up a bar for your people? Like, is there a drink package? How does all that work?
We actually, Adam's Place provides wine and cheese and wine and music events. Special occasions, we do margaritas or whatever the drink of the day
Trent, I'm
is.
already in on this one, man. Yeah,
We are later this in August. We are having mimosas and bagels brought to us by senior helpers.
awesome.
And we're actually working. I met with a lot of the residents several months ago and said, okay, do you want regular cocktail hour? And hands up, yes, we want cocktail hour. So we're going to start doing more and more of those types of things. And, it's an environment where if you do drink, you are welcome.
And if
And
you
if you
don't,
don't, you are
you're still
welcome.
welcome. That's right.
So, last night we had our monthly pizza and beer social, and they absolutely love it. We don't normally provide dinner on Sunday nights, so we bring pizza in once a month, bring in different types of beer, and they just sit around and
Eat.
drink and eat and have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, Sounds great.
Yeah,
So
and they don't have to clean up after it.
even better. So what's the minimum age to move into independent living? This sounds great.
55.
Dang it.
You're not quite there, are
I'm
you?
not there.
See, I reached that point a few years ago. I told my administrator, I was like,
Do you get an employee
I'm
discount?
not going to take one for the team. I'm not moving in. No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too bad. So I guess walk me through in independent. Give me like a snapshot of your average best client.
So you
Like
want,
who's there? You know what I mean?
I mean, we have people who have lived with us. I think the longest tenure right now is 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah. The longest one that we had, she was with us for 21 years before needing to move into assisted living. And then she was able, before passing away, she was able to take advantage of assisted living and continuing care, making full use of the continuing care environment. So, the best case scenario, I heard somebody say not long ago, it's better to move 5 years too early than 5 minutes too late.
That makes so much sense.
It does make sense because when you make the move into independent living, you want to go at a time that you can really enjoy the benefits of
Yeah,
retirement.
it's an instant boost in quality of life.
Absolutely. You've got built-in socialization. You've got access to opportunities that you either didn't take advantage of when you were still in your brick and mortar home. A lot of times you're at home, it's raining. I need to go to the gym, but I don't want to go to the
Or I need
gym.
to mow the grass,
Need
and
to
then
mow the
that stays on
grass.
you for 3 days, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Or I've got tickets to the symphony, but gosh, it's hot outside. Well,
Yeah.
in independent living, you walk out your door, you go down the hall, and there's your exercise. There's your symphony playing. There's your whatever.
Or you
Um,
hop in a car and
Hop in a car or on the bus and go wherever it is that we're going in that particular moment. So, the target market, if you will, is getting that individual fresh out into retirement, somebody that is ready to get rid of the home maintenance and still wanting to live.
mhm.
I have people come in for tours. Sometimes they're like, why is it so quiet in here this afternoon? Well, I've got this one out of town. This one's doing this. This one's, working. This one's gone to the church to volunteer. This one's gone to stay with the
No
grandkids
one's here
for a
right now.
week,
Yeah.
because they're out living their
Yeah.
lives. And that's what it's about. You continue living your lives. I tell people all the time, when you move into independent living or even assisted living, you're not changing your lifestyle. You're changing your address. You're
Mm,
changing where you're gonna lay your head down at night. That's it.
that makes a lot of
But
sense.
you are living your life. If your grandkids wanna come for a sleepover, bring them
Mhm.
because we've got a lot of things that they can enjoy too. Go let them swim for a little while. They'll be tired enough that they're gonna sleep tonight.
Now are the units furnished or
They are not.
people bring their
No,
own furniture?
people bring their own stuff, and that's by design,
Mhm.
very intentional design. Because if you're living with somebody else's stuff, you're not at home. It's kind of like going to a hotel.
Yeah,
If you're in a hotel, you're not at home.
that makes
But if
sense.
you bring your own stuff, you hang your pictures, you set your stuff out, you decorate it. It is your space, and that's what we want it to be. We want it to transform into your home.
Alright, so next question.
Mhm.
Is there a lot of drama amongst retirees?
No.
Is this like a dorm room situation? Is
Um,
it like being back on a college
let's
campus?
see. Can we go off air for a minute? There's some drama. You cannot put over 100 residents and 40 to 50 staff in a building and not expect some degree of drama.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Is this one of those things where it's like, "Oh, did you see the new guy? Eligible
Oh,
bachelor move in," that kind of thing?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so funny. Hey, I'm picturing the real world Adams place. Yeah, we could resurrect the real world. What do you think? That would be awesome. Um, let's see. What you've been there how long now?
Going on 5 years. It'll be 5 in December.
In your 5 years there, what are you most proud of that you've been able to accomplish?
Relationships with my residents. that is an absolute top priority for me. When I first started working there, within the first month, I knew every single resident that lived there. I knew their family members. I knew what there was about them that brought them there. And the relationship building, now that I've been there, and I've always done this in this industry, when you come to meet with me to ask questions about care for your loved one, your mom, your dad, whomever, my goal is to establish a relationship with you. You may not end up coming to my building, but if I've been able to do something to help you gain the knowledge necessary to get your loved one where they need to be, then I've done my job.
It's a win.
So I start building those relationships from the very first phone call. Many of them come to be residents, but some of them don't. But in some way, I have been able to help them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there a waiting list?
Yes.
How long is that waiting list?
I have in independent living, I have currently 35 people on the wait list. I always tell folks, don't let that wait list scare you off. It's better to go ahead and come and see me and figure out if Adams Place is what you want to call home. And if it is, get on that wait list. Once you're on it, you can always say no. You
Right.
don't ever lose your spot on the wait list. But it's better to be there when you need it than to not be there
I said
when
5
you
years
need it.
early, 5 minutes too late.
Exactly.
hmm
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. What else? Anything else you want to tell us about Adam's Place and specifically about the independent living side?
Independent living, Adams Place, just in general, again, 26-year history. We're just a really well established community.
hmm
Um, and again, anything that we do, we're going to do it well. We are in the process of considering an expansion for independent living.
I've heard this.
Living where
The
you
the
do, I
the
know you
the
have.
rumor mill has already started. Yeah.
And it is simply an expansion of the services that we already offer to independent living.
Would just be more units or
More units and targeting individuals that may not be ready for congregate living. We were talking a few minutes ago about the target market. Who do we really want to see come into independent living? Again, we want you to come when you can still enjoy the lifestyle that you're enjoying
congregate. So
now.
this would be like individual villa
And
type.
villas or even apartments that don't necessarily have the services that we provide.
Sure.
Not everybody, when you maybe first step into retirement, 60, 65 years old, you might not want to walk out of your home and immediately have access to the dining room or the library or the exercise room or whatever. You might still want to have a little bit more independence,
Gotcha.
but you really don't want that home to
Almost
have
like
to take care of.
townhouses in a way.
Yes, very similar concept.
Gotcha.
So it's just an expansion to reach a different target. Still independent, just wanting something a little bit different, ready to step outside of those homes, but not ready for what I have currently today.
Well, and from a business model standpoint, it makes sense for Adam's Place to do that.
Absolutely.
You get somebody there, you get them accustomed, and then they can. What is that called in the school terms where you go from this to this? It's not all I can think of is transmigrate, and that's not it. What is the word I'm looking for?
I don't know the word, but I know what you're talking about because it is just moving. Kind
Yeah,
of like the Siegel school system, where you've got the
right.
elementary school, the middle school, the high school. You just transition on down the road. Well, that's basically what Adams Place is.
Yes,
So, getting onto campus, and this goes, with that expansion. Somebody might just want to go ahead and get into the Adams Place family, if you will, by stepping into that expansion.
yeah,
Again, may not be ready for what I have today, but they're ready to know that they're part of a continuing care retirement community so that if the day comes
they're
in
already
a
familiar.
crisis situation,
hmm
they're already on that campus. They're familiar with the services that we provide, and it's a very easy transition into whatever that next level of care
That
is.
totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right, how would folks get in touch with you?
So for me directly, phone number 615-904-7100. I can certainly give you direction anywhere else on campus. If you just have general questions, you can call 615-904-9111. Our website is always a really good place to go. That's adamsplace.org. We do have Facebook presence. We probably have other social media, but honestly, I don't know.
I don't blame you.
We've got a marketing manager that handles all that stuff. So thankfully, I don't have to do that. But I know those different platforms, or drop by. Like I said, one of the best things anybody can do is just drop by unexpected.
Come in the main gate and go to the left.
It depends
Correct.
on where you're going. If
Where you
to
are.
see me now, when you talk main gate, if you're coming from your neighborhood in through Haynes Haven, then you would turn left. But if you're coming in off Memorial, there in front of the airport at the main gate with the
That's the one I'm talking about.
yeah. Okay. So if you come in that one, you're going to drive straight ahead to
Okay.
Independent Living. So Independent Living, it's a 3-story building on campus. We're behind the fountain and the flagpoles.
Yes.
So if you want
But
me,
not that
you're
one
driving
that
straight
sticks
ahead.
furthest towards Memorial.
No, that's assisted living and the healthcare center.
Got it.
Healthcare center covers both long-term care and rehab. But yeah, most people, we do have signs on campus that kind of give direction, but we have people pop into Independent Living all of the time that's not where they're intending to go.
It's a big campus.
It is.
Very good. All right. Terri Deal, Adams Place Executive Director, Cruise Ship Director, if you
Yes.
will, of Independent Living over there. It's a beautiful place. If you haven't happened to have seen it and you already do or maybe will have somebody in your family or yourself or whatever that needs that, I mean, it's the premier spot in Rutherford County as far as I know. I don't know of another independent living facility that is nicer or offers more services than you guys.
I would agree with that. Thank you.
It's a good spot. Thank you to Brian Nail over at Premise Mortgage. Always one of my favorite people to talk about. And thank you, Trent. Spread the positive.
Yes, sir.
Some big stuff coming. You've been sending me emails over the last week about all the cool stuff coming.
We got some cool stuff, man.
Can you tease any of it?
Well, we're recording with Nick Hyder tomorrow. Nick's a pretty big deal, really good guy, doing some big things. Former professional baseball catcher, big network, and in some circles with some big folks that are doing big things. And he likes what we're doing with STP, so it's exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
That is great. If you have any real estate needs, give me a shout. If you have mortgage needs, give Trent a shout. If you have a story to tell, give Trent a shout.
Mortgage needs.
Mortgage
Brian.
is Brian. I got it confused there. Don't call Trent about mortgage needs.
No.
But if you have a story to tell, definitely call Trent about that, and
right.
we'll see about getting it preserved for you. All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Thank you for having me.
And it's really cool to hear about all of that. So, all right. Thanks. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks for checking out Table Talk today. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions whatsoever about real estate, check us out at jharmonhometeam.com or on Facebook and Instagram at jharmonhometeam.